All right, so I took a break because it was in the high 90s, even though it's fall. It's supposed to be fall, almost winter in Texas. It was hot, and so now I'm gonna put together one of the garden towers real quick. And one thing that I've noticed difference about the garden tower versus the GreenStalk that is notable in my opinion is the garden tower has an open bottom system. So that means if I decide I need to move this for some reason, I'm either gonna have to pick the whole thing up as a unit and move it, or maybe put it on a dolly, which I think would be possible, but could be difficult. Or I'm gonna have to shovel out or empty out all of the soil and rebuild it and put the soil back in. So that's one thing I already like about the GreenStalk, because I'm not sure this is the permanent location, and the fact that I can just take each of these levels one by one and move them is a benefit in my opinion. So anyway, here we go with the garden tower build. So the garden tower starts with this base, and it's got some bearings in there. You can hear them rolling around, and it has this really cool compost drawer. So you can pull this out, and there's a screen in there, and this is where you extract the vermicompost when it's finished. So we'll see how all that works. But first I gotta put some feet on it. So there's these plastic feet, they're very sturdy. I like that. And they slide into slots right there. And I'm gonna go ahead and put this in time lapse here in a second, so I don't bore you guys with this mundane process. But before I do, I want to show you the compost ring. So this is one of the things that I really liked about this particular unit, is this compost ring that goes in here. So you can't see it very well from there, but essentially you're gonna stack these. You're gonna put one in as you do each level. So you're not gonna be able to see it when it's all built out, but just to mock it up real quick, you know, you're gonna have all these here and this. You're gonna open the cap, put your compost in, the worms are gonna eat it, and then it's the nutrients, the idea is anyway, the nutrients are gonna be accessible to each of these layers for long-term fertility, and just to make it easy for me to take my kitchen scraps and put them somewhere. I don't have chickens right now, so this would be pretty cool if it works well. All right, I thought of two more things to share. One is I've got a wheelbarrow here of decomposed granite, because I'm gonna use that to level the ground where I'm gonna put this, because I really don't want them falling over, especially like if my kids are harvesting. I don't want one of these heavy things falling over on top of somebody. Probably the tall GreenStalk is the most potential for that. It's not really wobbly, and it's got a pretty good center of gravity. I did level the ground a little bit, but since I need to readjust it anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and put more of a base of DG down. And then the other thing I'm changing here in this process is I'm gonna pre-mix all of my ingredients, my soil, my peat moss, my vermicompost from Brothers Worm Farm, and my amendments all into one pot, so that I don't have to make 4 different additions to each layer. It'll all just be in one big pot, and that way I don't forget a step, or, you know, it just seems easier that way to me. So you'll notice that in the time lapse, it's just a little faster and smoother now that I've pre-mixed everything. Just to show you real quick what the finished potting mix looks like, with 1/3 sandy loam, about 1/3 peat moss, 1/3 vermicompost, microlife, and a bunch of other amendments in there, including azomite, some sulfur. That's what it looks like. So one quick thing here, when you get to the top of the garden tower and you've got this this worm tower here where the compost goes, you have to zip tie off from these holes to these holes, or that's what they recommend you do, with 4 long zip ties that they provide. I don't love having plastic in the garden like this, but it's pretty sturdy. I think I'm actually gonna go rogue and skip that step just because I don't really want to put this in my garden, and I don't see that being a major issue. If it is, I could use something else, but it seems like the soil is going to hold it in place just fine, so I'm going to skip that step. All right, it's a big day here because we have not had a vegetable garden for over 2 years, I think, that we've actually been working on, and we've finally gotten these set up. This tower garden experiment, and today we get to add our new friends to the garden. These are our worm friends from Brothers Worm Farm, and they're gonna go in this amazing compost tube right here. So we're gonna put the worms, I'm gonna drop them down in. Don't worry, little worms.
There's some here too.
Oh, I dropped one right there, okay.
And another one.
Okay, yeah, get them in there. So we're gonna put half in this one and half in that one, and we're gonna add some compost in so they have something to eat.
I wanna put some in.
Okay, here we go, ready? Put your hands out. There we go.
Oh, there's one, there's a one. Gotcha.
And all these little holes in the tower, you're gonna allow the worms to take the nutrients out into the beds.
Yay.
Here we go, Avery, ready? Here comes some more. You feel them moving?
Yeah. They're really cute.
All right, now let's put some compost in for them. So we did add some bokashi to this compost, which inoculates it with effective microorganisms. So that's gonna help the compost break down, and it's also gonna help the garden get inoculated with good beneficial microbes. So this is like 1.5 pounds of worms. So we're putting about 3/4 of a pound of worms in each of these tubes. And they can eat, I think, if I remember correctly, these worms can eat their own body weight in compost every day. So that means if we produce 1.5 pounds of compost every day, the worms should eat all of it.
Wow, that's really amazing.
And they also have babies pretty fast and pretty often. So they'll keep growing.
They're so sweet.